Carlos Baleba to Manchester United makes way too much sense, and when you break down his game, you will understand why Manchester United were so desperate for him. But will Michael Carrick fully understand how to use him? Now, Manchester United have needed a player in midfield that could cover large space, that could win the ball back, that wants to engage in duels. He complements the current midfielders United have perfectly. And the biggest compliment that I can give someone like Baleba right now is that he's going to give someone like Yuri Tielemans his legs back. Because in my personal opinion, he's up there with Declan Rice in terms of one of the best midfielders in the Premier League at covering ground. And you guys can see his defensive numbers on the screen here. They are very, very good, especially considering the fact Baleba struggled last season. Baleba was not the same player compared to the season before that, before the Manchester United links. It was a really off season for him, and you saw Fabio Hertz, he substituted him 15 times last season, which was not good. I do think at times he was misprofiled by Hertz, which we'll discuss later on in this video, but you guys can see the defensive qualities are clearly there. But Baleba solves one of the biggest issues United have been having. Now, anyone that's watched my videos in pre-season so far regarding Michael Carrick will know United want to press up high, but United are just not getting that high press right in terms of when obviously the front row are set up to press. The people behind them are just not engaging and jumping properly. Baleba helps solve that because he has the mobility and explosiveness to get ahead of his players. Now, you guys can see this graphic on the screen here. This is where Baleba made his defensive actions last year in the Premier League. Just look at that middle half on the pitch on the wider channels. Baleba has a lot of volume of defensive actions in those sort of areas. And that is something that United have been lacking because those are the areas where United are just being too easy to play through. Now, just to continue talking about United's pressing issues, look at this graphic on the screen here. This looks at where Baleba won the ball back, his ball recovery numbers. But more importantly, I want you guys to pay close attention to the yellow dots and the graph on the top right, which looks at counter pressing recoveries. Baleba is one of the best midfielders at that, and this is exactly what Carrick wants in his midfielders. He wants United to press up high. Baleba is the perfect guy for that. Now, so far in this video, we've spoken a lot about Baleba winning the ball back, but what he does after winning the ball is also very important. But luckily for Manchester United fans, his actions after winning the ball are very, very positive more often than not. You guys can see this graphic on the screen here, which looks at post-recovery numbers. Just look at his progressive carry numbers after winning the ball back. They are extremely, extremely high. And that matches the eye test in terms of you will see Baleba a lot of the time win the ball back, then carry it. Of course, in my personal opinion, there are times where he holds onto the ball for too long. But he doesn't often lose it because his upper body strength and the way he uses his body, getting his body in between the marker and the ball are normally very, very good. So he does have good ball retention when it comes to that aspect of things. But there are probably times where he has to just get that ball off, lay off a bit quicker. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this video so far. And if you guys are, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. But something I mentioned at the start of this video was I believe at times Fabio Hertz had misprofiled him last season. In terms of Baleba is not the sort of midfielder that you want screening the two centre-backs. He's not the sort of midfielder that you want collecting the ball of the centre-backs. He just doesn't have the ability to play through the lines with his passes. Not to say he can't, but at a good enough level. Now, Manchester United has someone like Tielemans, someone like Andre Santos, who have been very, very good so far in pre-season at finding those snappy passes. Those are their strengths. If Manchester United can get Tielemans, get Santos in those sort of situations and have Baleba slightly higher up, connecting the midfield and the attack together, that's where you're going to see Baleba shine because, like I said before, he's a good ball carrier. He's probably not the best of progressive passes. Now, just to further emphasize how good of a ball carrier Baleba actually is, look at this graphic on the screen here, which looks at carries to the final third. For all midfielders under the ages of 23 in the Premier League, Baleba is third on the list, and the top two are extremely good in this aspect. Ryan Gravenberch and Alex Scott. Baleba is in very, very good company. Now, something that I mentioned earlier was that Baleba engages in a lot of duels, but at times he does overcommit. The reason being, he goes into his duels with a lot of speed, a lot of force, and at times he just cannot decelerate quick enough, meaning he just misjudges the distance that he actually has to cover. And at times it means he overruns his marker, and that puts him in very, very awkward situations where he might just have to give a foul away. Now, this is not a major issue that I'm pointing out. It's just a aspect of his game that I believe he has to slightly tweak, and he's still young enough. And I'm hoping Carrick and the coaching staff will help him in that aspect. But all in all, this is a top signing for Manchester United. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Of course, he's coming off an off-season, but he has enough, let's say, data, enough of a sample size to say he's a very, very good midfielder. and probably the exact profile that United were lacking. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know down below your thoughts.